Hi, Scott here, and I'm back at the Boulder church where I grew up a couple days after the other video. So I invite you to look at that first one. It should be the one just before this if you haven't seen it. That'll give you a little context. So I'm going to go a little different direction today. As we do talk about, this little girl who died when the church was being built. Some say her name was Lulu, but we'll go with that today. The church, they put her likeness here, I think, to say to everyone, as well as to the family at the time of the stonemason or architect whose daughter she was, we care and we want to, do tangible things that help us stay in touch with our capacity to care. And they did that in a very permanent way, right? Putting her here next to the door. And to me, they were saying, we want this to be a permanent sanctuary for people's capacity to love, our capacity to love. And then to be open to God's love, and then to, draw on that like a wellspring to get through the hard things in life, to support each other at. But then to also, have doors and go out into the world with that. So it's a cool thing. And this is where, when you think about the ancient goddess figures who had stone tower crowns, it's the same idea. Or horn crowns, but like in one case, like a stack of horns. So you're not going to attack with those, but you could protect space for love. It makes me think about a conversation I had with my publisher, Stephen Swecker, and he had been teaching ethics for over 30 years at the point of this conversation. And I just said, sort of in passing, I said, so if you're going to sum it up in a sentence or two, or maybe a phrase, how would you sum up ethics? And he said, Scott, I could do it in one word: boundaries. And I was like, I guess I would have thought maybe respect or love if I was going to pick one word. But then it kind of, it made sense. And I said, okay, I think I get it, but I might have to say like maybe healthy boundaries, because you wouldn't just want a wall. You'd want some way to have a door or windows, so you could be open to and share and engage each other when appropriate. And he said, absolutely. He said, we'll go with that. Healthy boundaries, a wall with a door. And and that's exactly what this is, right? And even the symbolism here, a symbol of, what we treasure and love, and then how to protect space for that. So today, the synchronicities were so cool because, first off, I don't know, about 20 minutes ago, as I was first thinking about this, a bunch of preschoolers went by with their teacher, probably about Lulu's age. And it reminded me of when I was praying the other night about all this stuff, and I was thinking about what a sad story. I kid you not, from kind of the mom side of God, I felt like, she died, but she's fine. As a soul, right? That's 131 years ago. I hope she's gone on to have a great adventure as a soul. And I hope she knows how she touched my life and other lives, and that's enriched her journey, right? And we get that bigger perspective that we are eternal souls. Well, then we start to get a better feel for like why those goddess figures had tower crowns, and why, Jesus talked about the kingdom within, and saying that the water I give will become like living waters, becoming a wellspring to eternal life from within. It's that we are eternal souls. And so protecting a sanctuary inside ourselves to get in touch with our own souls, to get in touch with the love of God, because I think we really are like branches of our Creator, however you envision the Creator. And that as we do learn how to protect the space to draw from that wellspring of divine creative love, well, that gives us power from inside. And it does require some boundaries to protect the space, because really loving does make us vulnerable. But then as we learn how to, use that space wisely, open the doors when appropriate, close them when someone doesn't get it, and don't let them hurt us inside, right? Well, that's a good way to live. And I have to just share with you, because the synchronicities just have been something else. So while I was making the first video, there was a guy here, he had his van running the whole time, and it came off on the video. And so I was like, oh shoot, So at first I was a little bit mad, I was like, can't he see me doing this and all that? And but I got to open my heart to this guy at least and just tell him and ask him, maybe he'll move, because I really have to be here, right, to get her in the picture. And I knocked on the door, and sure enough, when I explained, he's like, oh yeah, totally, man, I'll move. Then he's like, so what about this little girl? And so I brought him over, told him about Lulu's story. Super cool guy named Dylan. He lives out of his van. He has a website called Bag of Jobs, so you could look that up if you want. But he was awesome, and he was saying, I'm going to tell people about this whenever I am back here. And he said, so when's the video going to be on? So I gave him the website and stuff, and because we both just talked about, it's so important what this symbolizes, right? That we have to protect that space inside that helps us keep our capacity to love ourselves, absolutely, in all of our parts, like our inner children. I think she could symbolize that for our inner sanctuary. But then have that dance, like the mom and father aspects, learning how to dance inside the masculine and feminine parts, like speaking and listening and all that stuff. It's an art, but to protect space for us to be, artists of our own lives, and then to go after it from there. Especially in my case, I would say open to the love of God as we go from within, and open to how it might be shared from without. Dylan could have got mad at me, and so if he did, I would have had to say, well, I certainly approached him with good intentions, so I wouldn't let that in. Go ahead and close the door, essentially. But he didn't at all. He was awesome guy, and we had a great conversation, and it led to good things. So I just share that story because I think there's just such a wealth here, and it doesn't have to be a heavy thing at all. It can be, wow, I can protect a space of love within me so that I really got it to live from, period. And then as we do, as I try to get better at that, life is so much more enjoyable. So anyway, I hope you're enjoying exploring the ways you maybe already are cultivating your own center sanctuary, and encouraged to keep developing it along those lines that work for you, for your own sake, as well as the sakes of others. I hope you have a great day. Thanks.